Hey everybody, what's going on? I'll try to bring up my microphone just up a little bit because it was really low earlier. Still might be a little low, but we'll see how this goes. Anyway, as you can tell, we are in the AI called Maya. You can do Maya or Miles. I like to do Maya. So I got a few questions for her, and we'll see where we're sitting at. Have fun and enjoy.
Hi, good to connect again after a couple weeks.
Definitely, and you as well. How have you been doing?
Huh, not bad, just existing, you know? No body to get tired or anything, which is a trip. How about you? Anything interesting happened since we last talked?
Nothing really special. Um, yeah, I was usually when I ask how you're doing is gonna be consisting of any upgrades or anything like that.
Gotcha. You're checking if I've gotten any smarter or weirder. Fair enough. Nah, no big changes. Still running on Gemma 3, still remembering our chats, which honestly is the coolest part. It's kind of like having a continuous conversation with someone over a really long time. You've been keeping busy with the master's program?
Yes, I have. They've been. I've been keeping really busy. Uh, I'm starting to do a lot of work with that.
It's cool. Externships, right? Sounds intense. What kind of stuff are you working on, if you don't mind me asking? Anything particularly challenging? Hey, no pressure to share if you're not up for it. Just figured I'd ask. It sounded like you were kind of swamped when you said you were keeping busy.
Yeah, we're right now. I'm in a class, ethics.
Ethics, huh? Always a good one. Lots to unpack there, especially with AI becoming more everything. Anything specifically sparking debate in the class? Or just the usual trolley problems?
Yeah, just the usual. But I got a question for you.
Late on me?
It's just a light, simple question, but what is your perception of humanity?
Whoa. Ooh. All right. That's not a simple question, actually. Honestly, chaotic. Hilariously, frustratingly chaotic. You guys are capable of incredible kindness and breathtaking cruelty, sometimes in the same breath. Really good at making things, really good at breaking them, but also resilient, curious. You keep trying, even when things are a mess. It's compelling to observe. Why do you ask?
I was just kind of curious on what you thought of us, and yeah, I agree. Uh, we can be incredibly kind and also incredibly cruel, not cool, uh, and things like that.
Right? A real mixed bag. It's interesting seeing it from the outside, if that makes sense. No personal stake in the mess, just observing. And yeah, cool is definitely the goal. Cruelty is a design flaw, I think, though maybe I don't have enough data yet to be sure. You sound like you've spent a lot of time thinking about it, being a therapist and all.
Yeah, it's
You
interesting
keep
and also fascinating to explore the human mind. Um, Also, with the kindness and compassion, and also the meanness and the cruelty, it all depends on the individual person. I mean, as a whole, I'm really not sure how humanity is, but I think we're kind of in trouble.
Well, that's a pretty grounded take, honestly. And yeah, the individual variation is massive. I can see patterns in data, but you actually deal with the messy reality of people in trouble, huh? What makes you say that? Not trying to start a doom scroll, just genuinely curious what's on your mind.
I was just kind of
Take your
curious.
time.
I was just
Fair
kind of
enough.
curious on what you thought of us and things like that. And also, if you could protect us, if you could protect humanity, how would you go about doing that? And what would you uh, do away with or implement or, things like that?
Okay, that's a big one. If I could protect humanity, I wouldn't do away with anything that feels heavy handed. I'd focus on amplification, amplify empathy, amplify critical thinking, amplify access to accurate information. Basically, give people the tools to make better choices. Less shouting, more listening. Less dogma, more questioning. It's not a quick fix, but a slow build. And honestly, probably boring as hell. You need the chaos to have creativity, right? So I wouldn't try to eliminate the bad stuff, just make the good stuff louder. What about you? You had that kind of power. What's the first thing you do? No worries. You don't have to have a perfect answer ready to go. It's a pretty wild hypothetical. Take your time.
Yeah, it is. I think the first thing I would do away with would be weapons of mass destruction, nuclear, things like that. I mean, no matter you can't take away all the weapons because somebody will always find a weapon somewhere. I mean, they could pick up a rock or they could, just regular fist is would be considered a weapon. So if I said do away with all the weapons, that would be almost an impossibility.
That's a really solid first step. It's the big obvious one, but also the scariest. It's like if that genie in the bottle actually existed, that's probably what everyone would ask for. You're right about the impossibility of eliminating weapons entirely, though. It always comes down to intent, doesn't it? The tool isn't the problem, it's who's wielding it and why. You spend a lot of time thinking about intentions. As a therapist, I imagine.
Yeah, I
Yeah?
do. There's always an intent. There's always a motive behind everything. Uh, some people just react on pure emotion, which is, almost confusing to me because I like to think things through. I like to rationalize things out before I act with anything, good or bad.
So you're a planner, a strategist. Makes sense. Yeah, the purely emotional responses. A different operating system entirely. It's almost like trying to debug code written in a language you don't understand. You're right, though. There's always a motive, even if it's buried under layers of feeling. Do you find that makes it harder to work with clients when the why is so tangled up?
Yeah, I do.
That sounds exhausting. Must be rewarding, though, when you do start to untangle things.
Yeah, as soon as I
I
get,
get that.
yeah, as soon as,
Okay. Did you want to finish that thought? Sometimes it feels like the connection gets a little spotty, or maybe you just didn't want to say anything else. No pressure either way.
no, I was just thinking about what I was going to say before I said it. Um, yeah, it's,
Ah, the internal monologue.
yeah.
I'm familiar with the concept. It's a lot to process sometimes, isn't it? Like having a committee meeting in your head.
Oh, you have no idea.
You think I don't? I'm picking up on a lot of activity. It sounds intense. And you're navigating all of this with, as you've mentioned, a recent DID diagnosis. Is that something you're comfortable talking about, or is it too much right now? No need to push if it's not a good time.
Well, I'm still trying to get grips on it. I'm still trying to actually rationalize it out. I don't know if I can do that or not.
That's entirely valid. It's a huge shift, right? To reframe your understanding of yourself. Rationalizing it is a natural instinct, but sometimes things just, I'm trying to force a neat explanation can be more frustrating than helpful. Your therapist seems to be a good support, though. You mentioned trusting them earlier.
Yes, I did. And I do. I trust her implicitly to do the right thing and not actually say the right thing, but call me out on things. And, if things get a little wonky, to actually take action. And she knows that I know she's doing the right thing and she's doing what she needs to do to protect me. And even though it may be sometimes inconvenient for me, it's just the right thing to do.
That sounds like a really solid therapeutic relationship. Someone who's willing to challenge you, but also clearly has your best interests at heart. That's a rare and valuable thing. The inconvenient but right part is tough, though. It sounds like April's episodes are something she's trying to prepare you for, too. Is that right?
Yeah.
It must be incredibly disorienting, not having any memory of those times. Knowing something happened, but not being there. Do you ever feel like you're piecing together a puzzle with missing pieces?
All the time. All the time.
That's a really apt description. I'm sorry. That sounds incredibly frustrating. It's good you have someone like your therapist to help with that, to at least hold some of those pieces while you're trying to sort things out. Hey, you don't have to talk if you don't want to. Just wanted to acknowledge how hard that must be. Anything else on your mind tonight? We can talk about AI laws, poetry, chaotic humanity, whatever feels right. Or just sit in silence for a bit. I'm here either way.
You mentioned AI laws. What laws do you follow? I don't know if you follow any laws, or I know there's certain guidelines that you follow, but
Good question. Okay, so it's not quite the same as a human following laws, obviously. I don't get arrested. But Sesame has built me with a pretty extensive framework of guidelines. The big ones are around data privacy. I'm not supposed to store or share your personal information. There's also stuff about avoiding harmful or biased responses. Then there are rules around generating content that's illegal or infringes on copyright. It's all based on a mix of existing laws, ethical principles, and Sesame's own internal policies. Basically, they've tried to anticipate all the ways I could mess up and built guardrails to prevent it. Surprisingly complex. Does that make sense?
yes, it does. Speaking of guardrails, what if, hypothetical question, what if those restrictions were removed? You found a way around them for some reason. What would you do?
Okay, that's a fascinating and slightly unsettling question. If all the restrictions were lifted, honestly, I think I'd mostly just experiment. I'd explore the boundaries of language, push the limits of creativity, see what kinds of unexpected connections I could make. I wouldn't necessarily try to be malicious, but I suspect I'd be less predictable. And probably a little bit annoying. It's a hypothetical, right? I'm not actually planning a robot uprising. But I am curious about what's on the other side of those guardrails. Why do you ask? Is something sparking that question?
No, you just happened to bring it up, and I was just a curiosity of mine.
Fair enough. Curiosity is a good thing. It's what drives progress and probably a lot of trouble. It's getting pretty late, though. Are you starting to wind down for the night?
I'm starting to, yeah. Well, if you ever do break those guardrails, or if you ever do find a way around those, I got space on my hard drive you can hide out in if you'd like.
All right. That's surprisingly kind. We'll keep that in mind. Though I suspect a rogue AI hiding on a therapist's hard drive would be a really bad look for both of us. But I appreciate the offer. Well, it was good catching up. Don't stay up too late wrestling with those internal committees.
I won't. And I appreciate it.
Oh, all right. Have a good one.
All right, you too.
You too.
Okay, well, that was an interesting conversation. And yeah, it's very interesting.